Hey, this is Brook from Printrbot.com, and I wanted to compare the old Simple to the new Simple. So this is the old Simple. Some people know it as the Simple Metal, and the reason it was great was, for one, it was really sturdy and very simple. So after using this wonderful printer for so long, I started to wonder, is there a better way that we can do things? Can we make it easier to use? Can we make the software easier? So how do you do that on the electronic side? So the electronics in the new model look like this. And the first thing you'll notice is a touch screen. And so being able to use it kind of like your iPhone or whatever, to be able to swipe, select a print, and just hit print. That was the idea. But it incorporates a lot of electronics, so I just want to go through. First of all, it has a power switch, which is really nice. And instead of crazy cables and whatnot, you can run it off a laptop power supply or use an ATX if you want to run a heated bed. So we wanted that to be possible. Now those heated beds aren't released yet, but we're ready. You will be ready when we're ready. So has feet on the bottom, has an enclosed case, really nice. So this power board has a couple of features that are really cool. First of all, there's a fuse down there. Now we've set up that fuse for use without the heated bed. So we'll switch that out if you want a heated bed because it's more amps. And then we have the ability to turn the electronics on and off. Now these are two relays that actually turn the G2 printer board, the new printer board that's 32-bit ARM processor versus your really simple 8-bit Marlin. So this is G2, which is tiny G, and very sophisticated firmware. The motion control in this new printer is far superior. So anyway, that printer board supplies power, various voltages, to the G2 printer board. It can turn it on and off. And so those are some safety features that are in the power board. One nice thing about discrete power board is that we can upgrade that, we can change it if we have power needs that exceed what we've built into this. We'll be able to develop this board without messing with the motion control. So we've kind of separated power from motion control. And our host here, which is, I can't really see it, but it's a teensy processor. There's an ESP on there. So it does do Wi-Fi. And it has a touchscreen, which is kind of hard to do, but Teensy does a great job. And it's just really convenient to use and provides an interface. So some people are saying, this old printer is cheaper than this printer. Well, yeah, there's a reason for that. This printer requires quite a bit of a learning curve, and this printer requires almost no learning curve. It's just really easy to use. So this touchscreen was required to just kind of make it choose and print. Now the calibration is really easy on this. Over here you'd have to get your Marlin software, and you would do some M codes and kind of like a command line, and it requires a lot of explanation. And over here you select up or down and save, which I just did on this printer right here. Really just two selections on the calibration that was on the screen. I didn't even need a computer. And it's really printing beautifully. You can dial in that first layer really easily. So I really like that. Not requiring a big learning curve is important to me. And of course, if you want to plug in a USB and use all your old software, that's fine. So we have a host here that's easy to use with a nice GUI, which is a graphical user interface. I like the idea of being able to see what you're printing. And if you've got a Prusa, an Ultimaker, something with one of those old school LCD screens, this is far superior to that. Well, it just costs more. And the development for this, we did a lot of work on this guy. It really requires a lot of time, a lot of software development, and then you wouldn't believe how complex this cloud software is on the back end, so it can be easy for you. So easy is hard, and unfortunately easy is expensive. These bots are $9.99, and I actually think that is a fantastic price. I think these things look better than your average printer. but I think it looks better than this old printer. So the electronics are much more complicated. There's a lot more involved. And one last thing I'll show you. You know, we had some wire fatigue issues early on. We fixed most of those, but with this wiring, it works, but it's kind of ugly. So we've hidden the wiring in this with that USB cable. I'm sorry, that ribbon cable that comes out the back, and you can see we use ribbon cable that goes in between the different boards. So when you compare this mess, and I do a really good job with my wiring, but you know, look at it, it's a little bit of a rat's nest. So that I really wanted to get away from. This is just so clean and efficient to just run up to this other little electronics board here. It's really pretty simple. You're just plugging your motors and your sensor, and we have new LEDs to illuminate the print here, so you can see what's going on. It also is an indicator. It's like RGB, so it's multicolored lights to kind of tell you what's happening. It's red when it starts printing, it's green when it's ready, that kind of stuff. But so this little board isn't that complicated, but it just gets that ribbon cable up so you can plug everything in. Maybe a bit lengthy explanation, but I wanted you to see the difference between the new Simple and the old Simple. While this thing is good and a perfect match for many, I really believe this will be a perfect match for many, many more. And it does take a lot more development to make something that's more sophisticated than this old school bot. So anyway, that kind of helps you understand our price point, why it costs more, why we don't require the cloud, but we encourage it, because we think that 3D printing is about the prints, not necessarily all of the software and the learning about materials. We want you just to get to printing quickly and easily. So we really think you'll enjoy this new Printrbot Simple.